David and Laura had been married for nearly 3 decades. To everyone around them, they seemed like the perfect couple. High school sweethearts who built a life together from scratch. David worked long hours as an accountant while Laura stayed home, raising their 2 children and managing the house. Over the years, David never suspected anything was wrong. He trusted her completely. For 25 years, Laura played the part of a loving wife. She smiled at family gatherings, held David's hand at church, and never missed an anniversary. David felt lucky to have her. Their children, now grown, also believed their parents were the ideal couple. But behind the scenes, Laura had been living a double life, one that David never saw coming. It started with a former college friend named Mike. They had reconnected through Facebook and met for coffee. That coffee turned into weekly lunches, then weekend getaways disguised as girls' retreats. Laura always had believable excuses, family emergencies, helping a sick friend, or volunteering with her church group. David never questioned her stories. Mike was everything David wasn't: spontaneous, flirtatious, and free. He didn't have a family to look after or bills to pay. Laura found the excitement she thought she lost after becoming a wife and mother. Their affair spanned over 2 decades, hidden beneath a perfect facade. Over time, it wasn't just Mike. Laura had short affairs with 2 other men, each carefully kept from crossing paths with her home life. David missed countless warning signs: the sudden interest in new lingerie, the mysterious credit card charges, the guarded phone. He believed in Laura so deeply that the idea of betrayal never occurred to him. Even when she grew distant or irritable, he blamed work stress or hormones. He reassured himself that every marriage had its dry spells. On their 25th wedding anniversary, David planned a surprise party. He invited close friends, their children, and Laura's siblings. Everyone celebrated their lasting love. Laura smiled through the evening, kissed David, and gave a heartfelt toast. But inside she felt hollow. The guilt had grown unbearable, but she had buried it so long it had become part of her. A year later, David received an anonymous email. It contained photos of Laura with another man, some from years ago, some recent. At first he thought it was a cruel prank, but when he confronted Laura, her face turned pale. She broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. After hours of silence and tears, she admitted everything. Not just about Mike, but about the others too. David was shattered. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and couldn't believe the woman he loved had lied to him for more than half his life. He went over every moment in his mind. Birthdays, holidays, late-night conversations, all poisoned by betrayal. His world, once steady and sure, now crumbled beneath him. He moved out of the house a week later, unable to look at Laura without drowning in rage and sorrow. Their children, now adults, were stunned. They didn't know how to react. Torn between the mother they loved and the father who had been blindsided, the family dinners stopped. The home turned cold and quiet. Laura begged for forgiveness. She wrote letters, left voicemails, and tried to explain that she still loved David, that she had been lost, lonely, confused, but David didn't respond. He felt like a fool, like his whole life had been a lie crafted by someone who claimed to love him. The hardest part wasn't the cheating, it was the time. 25 years of deception, of lies layered upon lies. He had missed out on real connection, honest love, and the chance to live a life with someone who truly respected him. Now in his late 50s, David found himself starting over with nothing but memories that now felt tainted. Years passed. David slowly began to heal, but he never remarried. He focused on his health, found comfort in therapy, and traveled alone. Trust was something he couldn't give easily anymore. He'd become more guarded, more cautious, and more private. The warmth he once carried for others dimmed. Laura lived with the consequences of her choices. She lost not only her husband, but the respect of her children. Though they never cut her off entirely, the closeness was gone. Holidays became tense and quiet. She often sat alone in her living room, surrounded by photos of a life that had once seemed perfect, but now only reminded her of what she had destroyed. David learned to smile again, but a part of him remained broken. The betrayal hadn't just ended a marriage, it had stolen years of truth, love, and peace, and while he eventually forgave her in silence, he could never forget. For David, the truth had come, but far too late.